With my last video on the factions in the Mandate of Heaven DLC for Total War 3 Kingdoms, this one will take a quick read over on some of the new units within the DLC. There are 40 new units in this one, with a wide range of faction-specific units and a host of new ones available to everyone. In this video, I'll highlight some of what have piqued my interest, and you can take a look at the rest via the Steam page. As always, let's dive in. The Emperor's army represents the ideals of a national standing army. High tier and heavily armored, they all feature golden details and classy tunics. There may be some small differences based on unit type, but they are clearly part of the same army. The Han army gets some fairly nice advantages due to their lifelong training and army service. They're able to use formations without a strategist or a commander leading them, and they'll also get ever increasing evasion and damage bonus as the battle rages on, as long as they have another Imperial unit nearby. Out of all of his Imperial units, of which there are several, the two I'm most interested in seeing are the Imperial Gate Guards, tier 10 spear infantry units with two-handed halberds, and the Imperial Palace Cavalry, a tier 10 crossbow cav unit featuring a heavily armored mounted crossbow unit. The Emperor's units have strong Milan vibes from Medieval 2, and I'm pretty much digging that. As part of the Han Empire, the Prince Leo Chung also receives all the Imperial unit bonuses, which is great considering his two specialty units. CHUN Peacekeepers are tier 5 melee cavalry with heavy golden armor, but they also carry a crossbow because why the hell not if your kinsman can have some too. The CHUN Royal Guard are a tier 4 heavy crossbowmen that can also switch weapons to a spear and shield combo when the need arises, which will be extremely helpful when fighting the yellow turban masses. Lurgi's two units are both tier 5, with Defenders of the Faith being a super tanky anti-cav spear infantry unit with the unbreakable ability, meaning they never lose morale. No doubt those units are pretty costly. His other unit, the Destroyer of Traitors, are shock cavalry and are very effective against infantry with some splash damage thrown on top of it. These two units would work extremely well together with unbreakable spears as your anvil and some amazing shock cav as your hammer. As the main man of the free LC coming with the DLC, Tao Qian's troops are not exemplary but do come across as unique. His territorial spearmen are worth their gold in defense but attack very poorly. His basic archer units act in the exact same way, great for their cost when defending but not so great on the offensive. However, both units do have the defense mastery ability, giving them extra damage, extra morale, and extra melee defense when on the defensive. This plays into Tao Qian's desire to play tall instead of wide. Defending your smaller kingdom is going to be much easier than worrying about expansion and having to defend an even larger one. Don't think that the Han Empire are the only ones with unique units. The Yellow Turban Rebellion has some tricks up their sleeve. Starting with the founder himself, John Dre, his Messengers of Heaven are a tier 4 melee cav, blocked behind tech 2 steps deep. These messengers are extremely fast cavalry with good morale. They're best suited for chasing down ranged units, killing them, and then moving on quickly. They'll also sport a larger unit size than your standard cav units. The Chosen of the 8 Immortals are a tier 5 melee infantry unit blocked behind 3 steps of technology. These fast-moving units have armor piercing and good morale, and they're cheap to boot. And while they might quickly die in a battle, they'll perform dang well against much more expensive infantry and armored units. John Bao's Zealots of the Way are a tier 5, 2 tech deep polearm infantry unit, designed as an all-rounder melee troop. They have a passive ability known as Focused on Combat, where, over time, they become stronger on the front, but weaker and more vulnerable from the sides and the back. His other unit, the Yaoguai Hunters, are a guerrilla warfare tier 5 archer unit blocked behind 3 tech levels. Not only do they come with guerrilla deployment, but they also sport poisonous arrows to deal some extra damage. Last up for the uniques are John Leon's units. His Gallants of the People are a tier 5, 2 tech deep spear infantry unit that boosts allies' morale through its Encourage trait. His aggressive stance also grants him the Tyrant Slayers, a 3 tech deep tier 5 halberd shock cavalry unit with a fantastically hard hitting charge. They'll also receive the passive ability Slayer of Heroes, where they'll be much more effective against generals and other heroes. As already mentioned, there are a stack of universal units that will be available for all factions of this DLC. These units are in no way very impressive, consisting of cheap tier 1 and 2 units, but they'll be great fodder and provide a low-cost army for you in the beginning of your campaign. Along with these universal units will come an increase of troops to certain retinue leader types across the spectrum, from scholar to healer, veterans, and even some Chiang barbarians, though the barbarians will not be playable in the campaign. For the full roster of these unit sets, please do refer to the Steam page to grab a hold of anything you need from these, be it names or what general types they belong to. And that's all for today's videos on some new units. Hopefully in the future they can actually be seen and thrown together to get some visuals for you. There does seem to be some pretty unique ones in this mix, and I'd be interested to test them out on the battlefield to see if battles themselves have been shaken up enough to thoroughly enjoy them. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to subscribe, stick around on the channel for more Three Kingdoms content over the next few weeks. This is Havoc, and I'm out of here.